parang connected din po ito sa ating last webinar, no, yung mental health. Sino-sino po bang naka-attend po dito? Marami rin po ba? Kasi parang pag yung mental health mo healthy, ayan, positive, parang mas ma-address mo rin yung mga conflicts around you, mas very very well then mas okay yung pag-address mo, diba? So with that, I'll be introducing na po our RP for today. So as a mental health professional and former HR practitioner, a resource person for today also engages in public speaking activities related to psychology, HR-related topics, and mental health. She completed her graduate studies at De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, with the program of Master of Arts in Psychology, major in Clinical Psychology, and was awarded summa cum laude in their batch. In her graduate thesis, she created a free online well-being program for COVID-19 survivors called Ugnayan. She is also a registered psychometrician, a certified mental health first responder, and a life coach. She also provides some volunteer work such as psychological first aid and assessment. Furthermore, she has immense working experience in a corporate setting as an HR learning and development practitioner. Aside from that, she previously worked as a part-time psychology instructor at Letran Calamba, Laguna State Polytechnic University Las Bañas, and Lyceum of the Philippines, Laguna. Currently, she is an assistant professor at the Department of Social Sciences here in PLP. So lastly, she believes that practicing self-compassion is essential for us to recover from adversities and bounce forward from our setbacks. So with that, let us all welcome Assistant Professor Anne Gladwin Vanguardia Batanes, or Ma'am Glad for short. Good morning, ma'am.
Hello, good morning. Yes, hello. Ayan. Okay. So, am I audible? Yeah, I believe so. Ayan. So, thank you for that warm welcome, and also thank you HRDO teams for inviting me to this webinar. So, I'm very excited, of course, to share my knowledge in terms of this topic. So, ayan, please bear with me. So, medyo hirap din akong magsalita because of my coughs and cold today. So, but anyway, we're still going to run this webinar. So, ayan. So, I believe nadalian kayo sa inyong, what you call this, yung inyong pre-test. Okay? So, mukha naman nadalian. Meron ding nahirapan, but definitely, hopefully, makover natin yung mga topics na kasama dun sa ating pre-test. Okay? Ayan. Alright, so let me share my screen. So, sa mga FB Live participants natin, so good morning. So, meron tayo, I believe, 67 viewers. So, good morning if you're watching from the FB Live of our HRDO team. Okay. So, medyo ano lang siya, I think mga 10 seconds late from the Facebook Live. Ayan. Okay. I think it's working from your end. Sige. Ayan. So, okay, so we're going to talk about building bridges, conflict resolution skills for a harmonious workplace. Anyway, hindi ako nag-isip ng title na to, but this is very perfect for this topic, and it's creative then, no? Because when we talk about building bridges, it's like there's a gap. No, so that's why we have to build a bridge, right? And that gap, usually, it's the conflict arises in a workplace, and it's very common, no? In every company, kahit ano pong company setting yan, mapa-academe, no? I've been in a corporate setting before, so definitely very common yung magkaroon ng conflict in a workplace, even in a small team, right? Nagkakaroon yan ng conflict for several reasons, which you already indicated a while ago during our icebreaker, right? So, ayan. So, we're going to talk about several topics today. Okay? Hold on lang. Okay, so there you go. So, ayan. So, a while ago, so you've already covered topics, no, or I mean the reasons, common conflict reasons bakit nagkakaroon ng alitan sa company or even sa mga nararanasan ninyo sa workplace. So we're going to cover that. So we're going to talk about understanding conflict. Okay, so we're going to introduce a model, which is a conflict resolution model, which is the very common one. And then, can I be an assertive person? So this is about assertive communication skills, but we won't be able to dig deeper about it, but just an overview how to be an assertive. And hopefully you could practice it on your own. Kasi at the end of the day, webinars like this, of course, in an adult learning model, this is just a 10% of learning. Application pa rin matters, which is 70%. And that 20% is about coaching and mentoring, no? And also building a positive workplace culture, okay? So, and I believe building a positive workplace culture, that's already related, no? Um, sa ating previous topics, which is about mental health. Okay, so these question is already raised a while ago, so I will no longer use I supposed to use also a menti.com, but I won't going to do that kasi na-cover na siya a while ago. At nakakatuwa yung mga sagot ninyo. Relate naman na nakakarami, no? Minsan may mga feelings na what you call this, yung feeling mo yung katrabaho mo, siya ang tagapagmana ng kumpanya ninyo, right? Or yung may mga feeling CEO. Okay, pare-parehas naman tayong pinapasahod or pinapasweldo, 'di ba? So, there are also some reasons or workplace conflicts such as miscommunication, which is also common, no, in a workplace setup. Okay? And hindi nga lang sa workplace even sa mga students, no? Sa mga students, kung meron man tayong participant na student sa via FB or here in Zoom, in an organization, no? Kayo, pag nag-groupings kayo, sa classroom pa nga lang may mga nagka-clashes na, 'di ba? Because yung isa, freeloader, 'di ba? Social loafers, kung tawagan ng social loafing, yung mga pabigat or nakikisabit lang, 'di ba? So talaga nagkakaroon ng conflict yan and clashes. Kasi ikaw, nag-e-effort ka, tapos yung kagrupo mo is pabigat lang, tapos pare-pares pa kayo ng grade. Kaya lagi may peer evaluation dapat, no? Yung mga instructors or mga faculty in charge natin. Kasi hindi naman natin talaga first hand nakikita kung paano sila nag-work as a team. So ganun din, sa workplace setup, may mga credit grabber, 'di ba? Ikaw yung nagsulat, ikaw yung naggumawa, pero kung sino yung nag-report, ina-acknowledge niya na sa kanya. Aminin nyo, nangyayari yan. Okay? So, yan. So, maraming nangyayari in terms of a work setup. So, that includes what? Personality clashes, okay? Personality clashes, these are, when we talk about personality, of course, not all person, or wala talagang tao magkakapare-pareho ng personality, right? It's very, imposible mangyari or rare. Even the twins nga they don't have similar personality. Yung isang twin, extrovert, yung isa introvert, 'di ba? Yung common term ngayon na gamit, yung isa OA, isa nonchalant, okay? I don't know why the others keep on using nonchalant as what? Walang pake. Pero when we say nonchalant, these are a person who is relaxed and calm. Okay, when that person handles a problem, hindi siya basta-basta nag-overreact. Kaya ideal couples yan. Kapag yung asawa mo OA, yung isa naman nonchalant, ideal na match yan. Okay? So yes, when we talk about personality clashes, we are also talking about differences in leadership styles. Let's say, for example, you came from a company na um, new hire ka, for example. Yung pinanggalingan mong company, yung manager mo before, hinahayaan ka lang. Let's say, for example, hindi ganun ka-strict. Okay? For example, binigyan ka ng project, sige, gawin mo yan. And then right after that, let's walk through it. No? Titignan ko kapag okay na. So, hindi na kailangan step by step i-check kasi it's for that manager, it's a waste of time. Ngayon, lumipat ka na sa isang company. And then, nagkaroon ng malaking transition for you. Kasi the assigned manager is what? Very strict. Micromanaging. Do you know what micromanaging is? Meron ba? Sige nga, tingnan natin sa chat box. What is micromanaging or micromanagement? Yes, may nagta-thumbs up. Ano meron sa isang manager, boss, leader, na micromanager or management ang ginagamit? Sige nga. Focus on small minor errors. That's true. Helicopter management. Meron ding helicopter na parenting styles. Tandaan ninyo, may mga helicopter na magulang. Pag sinabing helicopter na magulang is lahat ng galaw ng anak niya tutok siya. Kaya hindi nag-grow ang bata. Okay? O sige, wag saka na yung parenting management. Okay. Lahat pinakikialaman, someone who is watching over your shoulder, hovering always, all your answers are correct. That is micromanagement. Now, lahat tinitignan every minor details. Okay? Even magsasend ka lang ng email, i-review pa talaga bago isend, tumatagal yung proseso. Well, that's okay kung kailangan talagang i-review yung email. Lalo na kung isa-send yan all throughout the company, for example, all throughout the UPLB, kailangan i-review yan. Pero kung minor lang naman, kayo-kayo lang naman, no need to do that tedious checking. Okay? Yes. And then, may problem naman taga sa micromanaging, minsan tumatagal. But do you know that micromanaging is also applicable in what situation? Aside dun sa sinabi ko kanina na, for example, isa-send mo sa buong company kaya kailangan i-review. Effective din si micromanaging when it comes to new hires. You have to micromanage your new hires. Let's say, for example, wala pa tong work experience, entry level. Micromanage mo yan kasi hindi pa yan familiar. Wala siyang paghuhugutan na previous work experience. Kayo yung kanya magiging foundation or training ground. You have to micromanage that person. A probationary period is 5 to 6 months, di ba? So usually, yung 6 months na yan, talagang well-established, tutok mo yan dapat. Hanggang ila-let go mo na siya. Pag malapit na mag 6 months, nakikita mong independent na siya, pwede mo na siyang unti-unting i-let go. Yun. Pero kung 1 year na, mina-micromanage mo pa yan, ang dami mong oras. Kung sino man yung manager na ganun. Okay? Ang dami mong oras. Okay? So, ayan. Personality clashes are one of the reasons bakit nagkakaroon ng conflict in a company. Because we all know, magkakaiba-ibang personality yan. Minsan magmi-meeting yan, mga executive directors, even mga faculty pa nga lang, di ba, in a small group. Kitang-kita mo na magkakaiba sila ng personality. So, yun. For example, you are a newbie, I highly suggest, no, sa mga group meeting, no, you observe, be a keen observer. Kapain mo muna yung mga personality. Hindi naman ikaw magiging mind reader, but it's like testing the waters, no? I-check mo muna paano sila batuhan ng arguments, no? You be a keen observer first. Okay? Ayan. Political views. Ayan. I'm sure marami nag-aaway-away when it comes to political views. That's also included for personality clashes. So, ayan. I'm sure maraming nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang ideas about political issues, no? And which, yes, marami sana akong story about it, but I won't share it na lang kasi baka masyadong tumagal. But also political views, na-include siya minsan sa work, no? So, I remember before, sige, i-share ko na din. When I was in a previous company pa, no, nagkaroon kasi ng different ideas when it comes to political views. Hindi naman dapat siya mapag-usapan sa workplace because it's a private company. It's not a government company. It's not a government institution. So definitely, yung focus talaga dapat is hindi mo na haluan ng political views because it's during the 2022 election. Hanggang sa nag-meeting yung mga directors and executives and then nagkaroon ng clashes because na brought up yung mismong nangyaring presidential election during that time. And because of some of the majority of that directors are in favor of the other party, the losing team of that during that presidential election. And then nag-brought up yung isa. Syempre nanalo yung, of course, our current president. So kasi in favor siya doon. However, because of the political views, nahaluan yung meeting. Okay, naging ano na siya, personal yung atake. Hindi naman yun dapat ang pag-usapan eh. Kaya nag-release ng memo yung company, the top management, when it comes to talking about political views, you respect your colleagues, no? As much as possible, wag pag-usapan if it's not relevant to the topic. Okay? So yan. And aside with that, we also have work preference conflict. Okay. Yan. Work preference conflict. This talks about differences in how people like to work. There are some colleagues who love to, bago mag-work, may routine. Okay? Maglililis muna ng table. And then, magi-greetings, babatiin muna ang mga katrabaho. Chika minute muna bago mag-work. May mga ganon. Okay? I don't know kung ganon kayo. Pero meron namang ibang coworker, trabaho agad. Minsan nakasimangot agad, mag-check ng email, mag-check ng transaction. Magkakaiba kayo ng work, no? Ng work ethics kung tawagin, okay? Yung iba, hindi mabuhay ng walang chika minute. Of course, we're not machine that we can work 8 hours straight, no? Kailangan muna ng sideline chika. Paano yung katabi mo? Ayaw ng ganun, 'di ba? So, nagkakaroon kayo ng conflict. Ba't ganito to ang ingay, 'di ba? So, even the distribution of task, kaya we have people leaders here, directors, mga managers natin from respective department, no, yung mga team leaders ninyo, you should be mindful when it comes to task distribution. Baka kasi mamaya, nagkakaroon na ng tinatawag natin na workload imbalances. Okay? Yung ang dami mong binibigay dun sa isa, yung pala lunod na. Okay? You're not checking each workload. Baka kasi mamaya, the job description should be updated. Of course, every company should have a job description. So, minsan na nilalagay, alam ko yung technique sa mga job description. I've been in an HR before, so I'm familiar with that. Yung iba, other duties and responsibilities. Okay, ayan, lagi nilalagay sa dulo. Okay, minsan kasi hindi mo na alam yan. It's a vague line that represents na pwede kang bigyan ng other task. So, yun. Minsan, yung other duties and responsibilities na yan, mas malaki pa ang nagagampanan kaysa sa major duties and responsibilities mo. So, you keep if you are the people leader of the team, you have to check the distribution of the task. Ang problem pa sa iba, yung job description is vague, too general, hindi specific. So that's not an effective job description, okay? So you have to check the workload imbalances, the causes of the workload imbalances kasi baka yan ang maging dahilan ng workplace conflict, okay? Ayan. Communication issues, these are common. I've saw that also sa answers ninyo kanina. Minsan, yung maganda na discuss na una yung communication in the workplace, which is very good. 7 C's of conversation na discuss yata sa inyo. Tama, diba? 7 C's of conversation. Click thumbs up. 7 nga ba yon? Yes. Okay, so na-discuss yun sa inyo. It's a very good na nauna siya kasi we're talking about here communication issues na nangyayari sa company. Minsan sa email pa lang, ang vague ng pagkaka-email mo, as much as possible, kung kaya naman idaanin sa face-to-face conversation, gawin nyo na instead of doing it via email. Okay, but if it's a formal invitation muna, pag-uusap kayo, magmi-meet kayo, and then do it in an email first, and then set up a meeting. Okay? Yung iba ayaw nung tatawag agad, tatawagan mo, yung para, what do you call this, ambush conversation, that's not highly encouraged. Lalo na kung hindi naman kayo magka-department, personally, hindi naman kayo magka-close sa work. So, wag kayong gagawa ng ambush conversation. As much as possible, send an email. Kapag hindi nag-respond, hindi nag-check kasi ng email, kaya hindi nagre-respond. So, yun, saka kayo mag-follow up ng email kapag wala ulit, mga 1 after a day, o kung kailangan nyo na talaga, saka kayo tumawag. Okay, mag-excuse. So, yan, communication issues. So, that also includes yung mga, let's say, for example, in between departments, nagkakaroon kayo ng clashes with the other department. So, possible din yan. Group communication issues naman yon. And of course, yung mga unclear job expectations. Ayan. Okay, so leadership conflict, so that also included yung, let's say for example, na-discuss ko na siya a while ago, magkakaiba ng leadership styles. Okay, merong authoritarian, medyo meron namang isa not so strict, okay? So yan, meron din namang neglected na leadership style, walang pake. Okay, inassign mo na lang siya dyan as parang tumayo lang bilang leader as a team para may leader lang kayo, so walang pake at all. So, yan. So, nagkakaroon din yan ng conflict and clashes, no? So, usually, pag nagmi-meeting ang mga leaders or executives, no? So, makikita mo minsan may mga different ideas sila na hindi nag-fit to one another. So, the list goes on. Okay? So, hindi pa dyan na-mention, even the sexual harassment, defamation, paninirang puri sa mga kapwa mo co-workers, 'di ba? And a lot of employee grievances na ma-encounter mo, lalo na yung, I'm sure familiar yung mga nandito sa HR team natin, no? Yung mga employee grievances, mga reklamo na na-encounter natin. So, now the question is, how can we resolve those issues, no? So, do you really need to be involved? Kailangan mo ba maging involved sa mga issues na to? What if ikaw yung directly nandoon sa scenario, ikaw yung may kaaway, itatanong mo pa ba sa sarili mo if kung nasaan yung tinatawag nating pakialam? For example, nasaan ang pakialam ko dyan? Involved ba ako? Paano kung nandun ka na talaga, 'di ba? Sa sitwasyon kung saan ikaw yung may kaalitan. Tatanungin mo pa ba yung why should I care or nasaan ang pakialam ko? Of course, yes. Dapat may pakialam ka. Because as a working professional, you should have this what you call emotional maturity na tinatawag, 'di ba? No? It's a practical skill set that you should possess. And at the end of the day, kaya ka nga na-hire, they believe that you also have this what you call emotional quotient that can handle problems. Ayan tayo manggagaling sa interview. Pero can you work under pressure? Pag nandiyan ka na sa pressure, umiiyak ka na, di ba? Minsan may mga ganyang pagkakataon, di ba? Kaya it's very important when it comes to hiring. You are not just doing interview. You should also have a complete assessment such as standardized personality test to check the emotional quotient of that person. Emotional profile index yung pwedeng ibigay din dyan, no? To check, kaya niya bang mag-handle, for example, ng pressure? Let's say, for example, faculty yan. Baka ang taas ng aggression level. Okay? Konting ingay lang ng estudyante, nagalit na. 'Di ba? Very ano yan, hindi yan pwedeng, I mean, aggressive yung at taas ng aggression level ng instructor, ng professor, 'di ba? So, medyo magiging ano tayo dyan, it's a red flag already. So, yes, dapat aware tayo kung nasaan ang pakialam mo at dapat may pakialam ka if you are working as a group. At yung grupo mo, yung may kinalaman or merong part siya ng conflict, 'di ba? So kasi when we say conflict, no, it's about what? It's a clash of interest. Okay? Magkakaiba-iba kasi kayo ng interest. Not just interest, the one that we talked about a while ago. Personality. 'Di ba? Personality or kasama dyan yung opinion or principle. Magkakaiba-iba kayo ng opinion and even principle. Okay? So, meron yung mga disagreement na nangyayari, kaya nagkakaroon ng alitan or in Filipino, other term is sigalot, 'di ba? So, yan. So, meron yan tinatawag na what you call this, asymmetric information. 'Di ba pag asymmetric or asymmetry, ibig sabihin hindi siya pantay, 'di ba? Iba yung the way you say it, no? Iba siya sa pagkakaintindi ng receiver mo. So, nagkakaroon ng asymmetric information. Let's say, for example, it's very important kasi not just what you are saying, but how you say it. The tone of your voice. Modulate the tone of your voice. Okay? Minsan sa kanya, bakit sa kanya yung pagkakasabi niya okay naman? Pero pag ako na yung nagsabi, bakit parang ang tingin nila galit ako? Because the way you speak. Okay? Sometimes, not just sometimes, many times it really matters, no, on how you say it, on how you deliver the information, okay? Kasi minsan nagkakaroon ng iba't ibang interpretation. So I just added this slide a few moments ago. It's about workplace conflict statistics. However, in the Philippines, wala pa. Chinek ko sa Job Street, wala. The common reasons why employees resign sa Job Street. Job Street kasi usually updated sa mga ganyan is, of course, salary naman lagi and career development. Konti lang yung sa workplace conflict. Pero yung workplace conflict na yan, guys, hindi natin pwedeng yan iset aside because ang workplace conflict, yan din ang nagkukos kung bakit nagkakaroon ng burnout ang isang employee, kung bakit nafe-feel niya na left out siya, kung bakit nafe-feel niya na demotivated siya because of the workplace conflict. Kaya hindi natin pwedeng baliwalain ang workplace conflict, okay? So yan, according to this, so ayan, may mga tinatawag tayo ditong workplace conflict statistics, okay? Tingnan ko lang ang aking navigation, yung pen, ayan. So makikita, it's from US, no? So makikita dito na meron talagang impact ang workplace conflict, no? So 2/3 of US workers have experienced incivility at work in the last month. So may mga cases, no, regarding that. So uncivil, 3 times more likely to be unsatisfied with their job. Okay? So umaalis because mga uncivil cases, okay? Workplace conflict will increase over the next 12 months. 2024 data to. Next 12 months, possible daw mag-increase. Kasi hindi nagkakaroon ng resolution, no? Hindi na bibigyan ng solusyon yung conflict sa workplace. Hinahayaan lang na lumaki, 'di ba? So ayan, so you can see here nagkakaroon ng discrimination. And yes, it's true. When there's a workplace conflict, there might be instances that the reason is what? Discrimination. Okay, discrimination is a big no-no, 'di ba, in a workplace setup. Okay, so now let me introduce, ayan. Ayan, okay. Let me introduce the Thomas Kilmann model, which is the very common conflict resolution model. Madaming conflict resolution model, but si Thomas Kilmann is the most common one and marami ding research studies regarding that. So if you're going to search Thomas Kilmann model, meron na yan standardized na, meron silang standardized na test, the TKI, the Thomas Kilmann Inventory, in which it measures kung saang type ka ng conflict resolution, ano yung conflict resolution style mo. So yeah, maganda yon yung inventory ni TKI. However, hindi ko siya may bibigay sa inyo kasi it should be purchased, no? May bayad siya. May iba na da-download. Ayoko na mag-share ng pirated or illegal. Okay? Mawawala ang lisensya ko. Okay, ayan. Thomas Kilmann model. Ayan. So, actually, this model, it's developed by Kenneth Thomas and Ralph Kilman. Ayan. So, kaya siya tinawag na Thomas Kilman. So, matagal na to, early 1970s pa. Ginagamit ito sa mga organization na, sa HR, even sa politics, they are using this kind of model. Okay? So, it includes different management styles. Ayan. So, ayan. Gamit na gamit siya sa mga organizational development, sa mga consultancy. So, kasi para siyang ano you are using this bago kayo mag-create ng strategy, gamitan niyo muna ng Thomas Kilmann inventory. Alamin niyo muna paano ba nagre-resolve ng conflict itong tao na ito. Okay? Paano ba yung kanyang conflict handling mode na tinatawag, no? So let's say for example, paano ba siya nakikipag connect sa mga coworkers niya? Bakit laging galit sa kanya yung mga coworkers niya? I-check niyo muna, aside sa personality niya, of course, yung way ng pag-handle niya ng conflict. Lalo na kung ikaw ay mga ano na, supervisor, manager, ikaw yung leader ng team ninyo, director ka, ikaw yung chair ng inyong department, maganda, meron kang ma-check yung iyong conflict resolution strategy. Ayan. So, these are the model of Thomas Kilmann. So you could see here, it uses what? The x-axis and the y-axis, no? Yung quadrant natin. So these are the y-axis which include assertiveness. Kapag mataas daw ang assertiveness mo, eto sila. Ito yung mga usually na type ng iyong conflict resolution strategy. Kapag mababa naman ang assertiveness mo, eto ka, usually nasa avoiding and accommodating, which is kanina na nagpa-survey, kasama yung mga yan. Na-cover yung iba dyan. Okay. Ngayon naman, kung titignan natin si x-axis, cooperativeness. Cooperativeness, ito yung ugnayan mo sa iyong mga coworkers, di ba? From the word itself, that just simplify it, cooperate, you are participating. So, saan yung mga yan? Pag mataas ang cooperativeness mo, so usually, so nandito si accommodating, si collaborating. Pag mababa, si competing at saka si avoiding. Okay? Ganyan yung pagtingin sa what you call this, sa quadrant ng Thomas Gilman model. Kapag ikaw ay nasa gitna, compromising ka. So, we're going to discuss this one by one. Ayan. Okay? Are we all good? Click any reaction button. Yan. There you go. Okay. So, yan. Hindi ko muna i-discuss extensively yung assertiveness kasi may separate topic yan. Okay? Kasi pag sinabi nating assertiveness, no? It is what? You are satisfying your concerns, yung concerns mo, sinasatisfy mo, nare-raise mo sa kanila, yung issues mo, let's say, for example, may issues ka about communication. Okay, for example, basta ka na lang ba nabibigyan ng work without consulting whether you can still accept it or not. So, basta ka na lang nabibigyan ng assignment, hindi mo na na-check yung workload. So, yun yung concern mo. And then you bring that up during the meeting. You express your concerns, of course, speaking up and standing up for your opinion, that's assertiveness. Ngayon, si cooperativeness, yung ibang model, they're still using Thomas Gilman. Pero yung iba, pinapalitan yung cooperativeness, pinapalitan nila ng empathy. Okay? Empathy. Pag sinabi nating empathy, this is being sensitive. You are what? Placing yourself in someone else's situation or in someone else's shoes. Okay? Parang ilalagay mo yung sarili mo sa sitwasyon niya. That's cooperativeness. No, yung involvement ng empathy sa cooperativeness. Kumbaga, you are not just satisfying your concerns, but you are also attempting to extend it kung maaapektuhan ba yung other people around you. Kaya hindi lang dapat tayo nakatutok sa assertiveness. It should be a combination, of course, ng cooperativeness. So these two underlying dimension, itong cooperativeness at saka assertiveness, no? So itong dalawang ito, so can be used to define yung tinatawag natin na 5 conflict resolution strategies. Okay? Which is number 1, competing. Si competing, ayan. Okay, yes, please. Yes, yes. I will share these slides, don't worry. Si competing from this quadrant, mataas sa assertiveness kasi pataas siya dito, 'di ba? Yung y-axis natin, dito siya nakapwesto. However, mababa siya sa cooperativeness. Kasi nandito siya nakapwesto, papuntang negative na to, di ba? Kung x-axis. Bigla nag-algebra, no? Ayan, x-axis. Okay. So, yan, competing. Okay. So, high assertiveness, mababa naman sa cooperativeness ang competing. Mga competitive in nature. So, this individual pursues his concerns first before the concerns of other people. Siya muna ang mauuna. The type personality, type A usually mga personality na to, usually they are power-oriented mode. Use your ability to argue, ayan. Even they are using their position and rank. No, even their economic status. So they are standing for their own rights. Mukhang negative kung titignan si competing, but not all the time. Hindi siya laging negative because that strategy, that conflict strategy is also effective. Sa tingin nyo, saan effective gamitin yung competing na conflict resolution strategy na yan. At ang strategy na competing, sa tingin nyo, saan siya maganda gamitin? In what situation? Yan. Tinitingnan ko din sa FB Live. Baka may mag-comment. Ayan, meron pala dito sa Zoom. Issues with external companies, yes. Kung kailangan i-escalate, of course, if for example, you are the director, the representatives of the company, kailangan ikaw mag-stand up for the company. Kailangan gamitan mo yun ng competing side. O kung nagko-compete kayo, let's say for example, UP and Ateneo versus Lasal. Okay, so yan. Kailangan may competitive side pa rin kayo dyan, di ba? Because you are also marketing the brand of your school, 'di ba? Very good. Sabi dito ni Rodel Ramirez, urgent decision matter, 'di ba? Lalo na kung life and death situation, for example, you are a medical doctor. Ikaw yung pinakamataas na posisyon doon. Kailangan na talagang pag-desisyonan kung yan ba ay paano ang gagawin diyan, 'di ba? So, ano pa? Even in a military setup, you have to use a commanding or what you call this. Kailangan talagang ikaw yung mag-guide sa kanila, 'di ba? When it comes talking about the West Philippine Sea, 'di ba? So, ang daming issues na pwedeng kailangan gamitan ng competing side. Maipakita ang paniniwala mo na alam mo positively, yes, makaka-apekto sa buong team. Yes, kung alam mo naman it will benefit all. Pero kasi sa competing side, mas titignan mo muna if not just benefiting all, but you are also raising muna yung concerns mo. Okay. Sa court, okay. Yeah, sa court. Hindi basketball court, siguro sa court, di ba yung when it's Supreme Court, di ba? During negotiations. Yes, that's true. Very good. Ayan. Ganda. Ganda ng mga sagot ninyo. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, competing is not always bad, like what I've also already mentioned a while ago. If, for example, you think about it, let's say, for example, competing kasi helps us to achieve our goals. For example, ikaw, you are aiming for a promotion. Alangan naman isang tabi mo na lang lagi. Let's say, for example, you are not assertive at all. Okay? To voice out your project, to voice out your ideas. You don't have any competitive side. Okay? Kaya nga sabi, 'di ba, yung ang buhay daw ay di karera. Paano 'yun? So hindi ka nauusad dahil ang buhay ay di karera. Wala ka nang gagawin at all, hindi ka na tatakbo. Okay? You're not going to use your full potential. So paano ka magsa-self-actualize or paano mo mararating yung rurok ng tagumpay if you're not making an effort also, right? You're not using your fullest potential. Okay, sige, baka ang dami ko naman discuss na topics. Okay, so yan. Negative emotions nga lang yung isa sa mga problems ng competing side. Minsan kasi, the more you are competitive, sometimes it channels negative emotions such as what? Anger. Okay? Minsan, umiinit ulo mo pag hindi nasusunod yung gusto mo. Kasi mga power-oriented people itong mga to. Okay? Frustration, pag hindi nagawa or nasunod or hindi umayon yung gusto mo sa pangyayari, nagkakaroon ka ng frustration. Kasi nga, competitive ang nature mo. Maraming mga ganyang competitive. If meron ka dito may mga parents na tayo, click thumbs up button or I don't know, any reaction button that you could click. Sino yung mga parents na dito? Yan. Di ba madami? You have to teach your child not just to be competitive in their studies, sa sports, kung saan man sila kasali, but you also need to teach your child to accept failure. That every competition, every examinations that they will attend, a qualifying exam, anak, may pagkakataon, matatalo ka dyan. Anak, may pagkakataon na maaari kang hindi makapasa. Not all the time you're going to win. You should teach your children or your child those kind of attitude. Para in that way, hindi siya mapoprostrate. Kasi tinuruan mo siya na, okay, there's room for frustration. Frustration is normal. Okay? So, yan. So, competing side, yan yung nature niya. Okay? So, na-weigh in naman natin, di ba, yung pros and cons. Yung conflict resolution strategy that I'm going to discuss, wala ditong masasabi natin pinaka-best at all kasi it varies in situation kung ano yung gagamitin mo. Pwede ka maging flexible. Okay? So, there are some people who interpret competing as what? Too aggressive, minsan hindi nila pinakikisamahan yung mga ganitong tao. Pero at the end of the day, if that person is aiming for the success naman of your own team, sana makita din natin yung benefits or the good side of the competing kung bakit niya ginagawa yung ganoong bagay. 'Di ba? Ayan. Next. Okay, sige. Um, Okay. Accommodating. Yan. Accommodating, coming from this quadrant, you could see na saan? Saan siya mataas? Mataas sa, dito siya papuntang right, positive, it means mataas sa cooperativeness. Mababa nga lang siya sa assertiveness kasi nandito siya sa lower part ng y-axis, okay? Ng assertiveness na axis. So mababa yung mababa yung assertiveness niya. Okay? So, definitely, ito yung opposite ni competing. Si accommodating, sila yung this individual, they neglect their own concerns in the expense or to satisfy the concerns of other people. Self-sacrifice, mga altruistic na tao. Iniisip muna nila yung kapakanan ng ibang tao bago sila. Okay? So, if you're familiar, may mga tinatawag na yes man, oo na lang ng oo. Okay? Tanggap ng trabaho. That could be accommodating. Accommodating di ba? Parang sa hotel, you accommodate your guest. When we put it in a work setup, you accommodate task. You accommodate um, mga workload. Minsan, you did not weigh in. Baka napupuno ka na pala. 'Di ba? Workload imbalances. Yes. So yes ng yes. So if one person makes a request, you agree to do that without considering first, baka ang dami ko ng work, bakit tinanggap ko pa to? Okay? So the problem with this is the downside, you may start to lose what? Your own agenda. Kasi nga nag-accommodate ka. But may positive side ito. Anong positive side nito? Makikita nila yung cooperative nature mo. Ma-appreciate ka nila. Even kahit mag-resign ka na, maaalala ka nila as the employee na cooperative. Okay. As employee na masipag, 'di ba? That's cooperativeness. I mean, pag mataas ang cooperativeness, accommodating yan. However, the downside of it, hindi mo na voice out. Kasi nga mababa ang assertiveness mo, maaaring hindi mo ma-voice out yung issues and concerns mo. Kasi nga, you keep on accommodating the concerns of other people. Ayan, okay? Ayan. Next. Avoiding. Ayan, meron kanina example sa survey natin, avoiding, di ba? Ang dami. Halos lahat kayo sumagot. Marami sa inyo. Hindi man lahat, pero majority nasa avoiding type. Pag avoiding, it's low assertiveness and low cooperativeness. Mababa sa cooperativeness, mababa rin sa assertiveness. Bakit? This person neither pursues his own concerns nor pursues the concerns of other people. Walang pake. Okay? So, does not deal with the conflict. But, sa tingin niyo, kailan magandang gamitan ng avoiding? Sige nga, type natin sa chat box. Kailan magandang gamitin ang avoiding strategy? Sige, while waiting for your answers. Kailan maganda gamitin itong avoiding type? Kapag nag-iisip ng right, ito, maganda tong sagot ni Rodel Ramirez. ni Sir. Ayan. Kapag nag-iisip pa ng right solution, need more time. That could be. When talking to a close-minded people, avoid I defeat. Bahala ka na sa buhay mo. Okay. Sabi ni John Franz Logo, pag mainit pa ang sitwasyon, almost the same ng kay ni Sir Rodel, 'di ba? Sabi ni Katrina Tan, si Ron Carlo, pag hostile na kausap mo, totoo. Okay? 'Di ba? Pag nagwawala na 'yan, namumula na. Avoid mo muna, wag mo na sabayan. When not in power, not a decision maker. Okay, that could be. During conflict, when you are not in mood. Wala ako sa mood, wala ka dyan. Okay. Minor lang ang issue. Kapag sarado ng isip ng usually close-minded. Oo. Sensitive issues. Ayan. Sige. Ang daming magagandang sagot, no? And these are correct. Related naman talaga siya sa avoiding type. It's highly encouraged that you use avoiding type, especially in situation that is no definite answer immediately. No definite answer. Hindi matatapos yung meeting ninyo kung bibigyan nyo na agad ng solusyon. Okay? Tama yung mga sagot sa inyo kanina, yung mga nauna especially, sakto siya. Kasi if there's no definite answer, you need to park it first to resolve other issues. And yes, it's true. If the other person is already close-minded and you believe that person won't change a thing, you could avoid. That's an option. Sometimes avoiding is what makes you or helps us to have this what you call peace of mind. But remember, avoiding is not always applicable in certain situation. Paano naman yung sarili mo, 'di ba? Paano mo naman, let's say for example, kung kikimkimin mo na lang yan palagi, hinahayaan mo na lang, let's say for example, na i-violate yung rights mo. Or let's say for example, hinahayaan mo na lang itong tao na ito na maging hostile or maging aggressive sa team ninyo, hindi magbabago ito and at the same time, walang hindi magkakaroon ng conflict resolution if you keep on avoiding it. Especially if your responsibility, if you are a people leader of the team, if you are the chair, the director, if avoiding type lagi ang gagamitin ninyo, baka lumaki ng lumaki yung issue. 'Di ba? You could use any of the conflict resolution style if it's no longer effective. Nag-meeting kayo, yun na naman ang issue. Siya na naman ang issue, 'di ba? Yung taong yun na naman. Nag-meeting kayo, ano na naman siya, aggressive na naman yung isang team member ninyo. You could set a one-on-one meeting to that person and then kausapin mo kung ano ba yung problem. Pwede natin gamitin yung mamaya, yung assertiveness natin na model. Sige. Okay. So, yan. Other types. Sige, medyo anuhin ko lang to ha to for the interest of time, no? Collaborating. Collaborating, mataas ang assertiveness, mataas din siya sa cooperativeness. They attempt to work with others to find some solution that will fully satisfy their concerns. So, yan, ano siya, moderate approach siya to solving problems, no? Between yourself and the another person. So, maganda to. It's like you are finding a common ground dun sa problem. Yung way in. Hindi pwedeng laging siya lang yung magsasalita. Kailangan ma-voice out mo rin yung concern mo. But not in an aggressive manner like the competing style. But you also raise your concern in an assertive manner but respecting the rights of the other people. This is what you call win-win situation. Okay? And then the last one, it's a balance of all. So it's a moderate in both assertiveness. Kanina kasi mataas ang assertiveness, mataas ang cooperativeness, collaboration. Pero kapag imo-moderate mo lang siya, compromising yung tinatawag dyan. So it's a mutually acceptable solution. So correct me for that one kasi yung sa collaborating, sa compromising, mas applicable yung tinatawag natin na win-win situation. Okay, na tinatawag. Si win-win situation, gamit siya ni si Stephen Covey yata, if I'm not mistaken, sa highly effective people, no? So, sa win-win situation, compromising, no? You compromise, no? Sa compromising kasi, hindi lahat ng suggestions mo, hindi lahat ng gusto mo masusunod. Just a part of it. Kaya nga siya compromise, just a part of it. And then yung idea nung isa, yung ka-conflict mo, yung kaalitan mo, meron din kukunin doon. Kumbaga parehas na merong kukunin sa kanila. In that way, there's a win-win situation. Okay? Suggestion mo, and then suggestion niya. Let's say, for example, gusto mo na gawing paperless na yung mga forms ninyo sa department. Eh, paano daw yung isa, yung hindi naman ka-conflict, kumbaga yung argument mo dun sa topic na yon. Ayaw gawing paperless kasi daw automated. Kasi paano daw yung mga iba na hindi naman daw marunong gumamit ng gadgets or let's say hindi sanay sa automation. Okay. So ikaw sabi mo, eh sila ang mag-adjust. Nasa ano na tayo? Nasa advanced technology na tayo. I mean, nandito na tayo sa era ng digital era. Sila ang mag-adjust, matuto sila. So ngayon, if you're going to compromise, no, yung mediator, yung team leader ninyo, compromising ang gagamitin yung conflict resolution strategy. Partly, gagawing automated, may option na automation, may option na manual pa rin, na paper-based pa rin. May option yung user kung ano yung gagamitin niya. May automation, meron ding paper-based. Or kung gusto niyo siyang gamitin na full automated na, magkanda kayo ng orientation or training on how to do that or on how to answer that form. Okay? Tsatsagain niyo siya. Bago kayo mag-fully transition na full automated na lahat, you have to make sure na majority kaya na mag-transition bago tayo mag-fully transition sa gusto ninyong mangyari. Okay? Okay. So yan, there you go. So let's use a quick Menti lang tayo, 'di ba? Just a quick check since you already know the 5 strategies. So let's use this menti.com, which I'm going to present. Tabilis lang. Yes, I have to share the link. Participation link, copied, and then click dito sa ating chat box. Tapos, ipapresent ko rin siya para sa mga FB users natin. Yan. Share screen. Ayan. Present. Ayan. So, these are sa FB user natin, pwede kayong magpunta sa menti.com, use the code 38616382. Yan, chat box. Ay, participation link. So, ito po yung code 38616382. Menti.com 38616382. Okay? Tingnan natin yung choose your fighter, sabi dito. What conflict resolution strategy do you often use? So dahil na-discuss na natin siya a while ago, remember, before you choose, although pumili na kayo, no worries on that, there's no best, no? Masasabi natin, itong pinaka the best na conflict resolution strategy. Hindi siya ganun tinitignan rather ni Thomas Kilman, yung gumawa nito. Ibig sabihin, it varies in situation. Pero, ngayon, isipin natin, commonly, ano yung ginagamit mo dyan? Okay? Ay, may mga thumbs up button lumalabas sa menti.com. Ngayon na lang ulit kasi ako gumamit nito, no? Menti.com. Ayan. So you could see from our poll, no, nangunguna si collaborating. Si collaborating, yun yung mataas yung assertiveness, mataas din yung kanyang cooperativeness. Yan. Okay. Kakatuwa, no? Sige, antayin muna natin yung iba. Yan. So you could see from our poll, mataas si collaborating followed by compromising. Si compromising, ito yung nandun ka sa gitna eh. It's a win-win situation. Part of you, part of your suggestion will be accommodated. And the other part of the conflicting party will also be accommodated. Magko-compromise kayo sa isa't isa. And take note guys ha, before, sige, keep on voting. Conflict resolution strategy of Thomas Gilman, it is not just about in a workplace setup. Pwede din siyang gamitin saan? Sa personal relationship mo with your partner, with your husband and wife, with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend. Pwede po itong gamitin. Compromising ba ang gagamitin ninyo? Usually in a marriage setup, compromising yung nangunguna. Okay? Minsan mahirap ma-attain ng collaborating. Okay? Lalo na sa personal life. Magko-compromise kayo. Okay? So yan, compromising. Kumbaga, of course, you have to accept the flaws, no? Yung pagkakamali ng partner mo, you also have to accept that. I-accept ka din niya. Kung ganun yung relationship ninyo, that's a healthy relationship. Not unless it's a toxic relationship, ha? Yung laging siya na lang ang masusunod. It's a red flag already. Mag-isip-isip ka na. Bigla nag-isip-isip nga yung iba, no? Okay. Sige. Ayan. Saan tayo kakain, di ba? Pinakamahirap na conflict resolution sa relationship. Magsasuggest yung babae, sabihin mo, ikaw nang bahala, sabi ng babae. Tapos sabi ng lalaki, nagsuggest, sa McDo na lang. Sabihin ng babae, McDo na naman. Okay. O, di ba? Napakahirap nun. Okay? So, yun. Ang daming problema ng ulam natin. Ayan. Relate para sa mga may asawa na, di ba? Relate din ako dyan. Sana pala, no, nanonood yung husband ko. Kaso nasa work siya ngayon. Kakaalis lang din kanina. Okay, ayan. So, ayan. You can see here, collaborating is the top one, followed by compromising, accommodating. Oh, you see, when we define already the following, di ba nangunguna si avoiding kanina? So ngayon, nung natutunan na natin yung about nagkaroon na tayo ng idea. Although baka kasi kanina yung iba dito wala dun sa option. But you could see already, nagkaroon kayo, hopefully, nagkaroon kayo ng enlightenment, no? Yes, parang medyo dito din pala ako, 'di ba? Ayan. Okay, so I'll stop sharing my screen and I believe we do have a health break, 'di ba? A screen break. Baka may mga naiihina or gusto magkape. So, I don't know. So, you could use a health break. Tama ba? It's a 5-minute health break. Yan.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much po.
Thank
Ayan,
you.
mapapa-self-reflect po tayo. Are we more on the assertive side or
Mm-hmm.
are we more on the cooperative side? Okay, may I call on Miss Ma'am Glad to proceed with the rest of the presentation.
Yes. Hello. Okay, so let me share my screen. Mm-hmm. Ayan, dito na tayo sa assertiveness na part. Ayan. Exciting part din itong assertiveness. Okay, so we're already done with our quick sharing about yung tinatawag natin na conflict resolution strategy. So we've also identified alin yung masasabi natin yung mas gamit ninyo. Although that's all what you call this, informal lang na poll or survey, because like what I mentioned a while ago, meron talagang inventory si Thomas Gilman, standardized test, no? However, I won't be able to share that with you, kaya informal lang tayo na survey. Okay. Mhm. Okay. Nakaano pala siya. Annotation. Yan. Okay. Anuhin ko lang yung annotation button. So I could click my slides. Ayan. Okay. So we're going to talk about assertiveness. Wait lang. Set up ko lang yung aking second screen. Ayan. So when we talk about assertiveness, so I am going to show you or present what you called a framework commonly used when it comes to assertiveness is this what you call desk framework, or yung iba, ang term nila dyan is DESS. DESS. Okay, parang DSS, department. Lagyan mo lang ng E. Okay, DESS. Mas nasingit pa yun, no? Okay, so yan. DESS script, it's actually introduced by Sharon and Gordon Bauer, no, in their book about asserting yourself, no. Yan. Wait lang. Yan. Ayaw mag-move ng slides ko. Okay. So, yan. So before I talk about the framework of the assertiveness, no, so let's talk about what assertiveness is all about, although I've already covered this a while ago. But according to this Venn diagram, you could see that assertiveness is in between of aggressiveness and submissiveness. 'Di ba? Magkakaiba kasi yan. Minsan kasi nami-misinterpret yung aggressiveness as being assertive, or yung being assertive sometimes misinterpreted as being aggressive, but it's not. They're different actually. Okay, so it's like when we talk about assertive kasi, is there's an equality that you are voicing what you are trying to say, at the same time you are trying to hear the other side or the other party. It's like you are standing up for your rights, but as well as you do not violate the rights of the other people. Kaya nga sabi dito, I count, but you also count. Parehas tayo. So yun yung assertiveness. At nakita natin, di ba, kapag hinaluan mo ng cooperativeness, di ba, magkakaroon siya ng iba't ibang types of conflict resolution strategy. Kasi when it comes to workplace conflict resolution, hindi pwedeng si assertiveness lang. Kailangan nating haluan ng cooperativeness. The other term that as empathy. Okay? So, when it comes to assertiveness, you are also aiming for a win-win solution. Okay? So, kaya nga itong tinatawag natin dito sa Venn diagram, the fight or flight syndrome, pag fight kasi ang gagamitin mo, pag fight lang, that talks about what? Being aggressive. Kasi what you want, yun lang yung masusunod, di ba? But if you're going to use the flight syndrome, this is what you want, sige sa'yo na. Okay, ikaw na. Ikaw na masusunod. That's being submissive. Si submissive, pwede natin siyang i-relate sa discussion natin a while ago. This is more of what? Yung accommodating, di ba? So, kasi nagsasubmit siya, mababa siya sa assertiveness. Okay? So, yan. So, we already have a clear distinctions of that. When it comes to assertiveness, you are mostly using the term I. Okay? Kasi when it comes to assertiveness, there's a sense of accountability. You use the I statements. Okay? You're not doing what you call blaming other people, diba? So, I statements. It's like you count, and also I count, diba? Okay, so when it comes to assertiveness, let's define it deeper. It is about personal responsibility, awareness of other rights, honesty and respect, and also you have this ability to negotiate. Ayan. Okay, ano naman yung pag not assertive or the opposite of this one? Winning every time, that's being aggressive, diba? Using quick fix tricks. Quick fix trick. Ayan. Quick fix trick. Ayan. So, yung mga ganyan, it's like doing a band-aid solution, 'di ba? Para matapos na 'to, sige. Gawin na natin 'to. Gawin na natin 'tong solution na 'to. Okay, para matapos na. Minsan, that's the avoiding type, 'di ba? Doing the quick fix trick in order for you to escape the problem. Parang ano lang, nilagyan mo na lang ng band-aid solution, and then months to come, ayun na naman, mauulit na naman yung problem. And then there are some people who use this manipulating tactics. Okay? Sige na, ikaw na sumambot nitong trabaho ko para na sa next month ako naman, something like that. You keep on manipulating them. Or maybe some are telling that it's negotiating, but sometimes it's not healthy at all. Okay? So these are some of the terms, no, o yung mga tinatawag natin na words na ginagamit natin. It might be sa email, no? Di naman siguro tayo lagi nagagamit ng English. Pero there might be instances that we are using some terms that may sound aggressive, let's say for example, that approach won't work, ay parang hindi uubra yung naisip mong solusyon, yung ganyang project. Ay, hindi naman uubra yan sa mga employees, hindi naman yan maniniwala. Or I mean, sige, bigay tayo ng webinar and then right after, ganyan na naman yung behavior nila. 'Di ba? So, kino-contradict mo agad, that approach won't work. O, pwede naman gawin mo, webinar muna, and then right after that, application talaga, actual activity. 'Di ba? So, parang hindi na siya mabibigyan man lang ng opportunity to speak up kasi sinimulan mo agad ng ganyang tone. 'Di ba? It was your fault. Kasalanan mo. 'Di ba? Masakit siyang pakinggan. It might be too harsh. You should and you must. The word you should, no, I learned that before sa kung saan ako nag-work before, no, in my previous company. Using the word should is that should be omitted, no? It should not be practiced when it comes to email. Kasi it might be too of authoritarian in nature, authoritative in nature, no? To the point na baka ma-misunderstood. Not unless it's mandatory. The term you should and you must should be um used, 'di ba? Okay? You better do it. Okay? So it might be sound competing, lalo na if you demand from the other people na kailangan na talagang gawin eh. Definitely, kailangan mong gamitan ng ganyang terms, ng aggressive tone, if it's urgent, matter of life and that situation, for example. Submissive, you know the word I think? I'm also guilty about this. The word I think. Sometimes I'm using this, no? But the word I think, no, yung according sa book nga ni na mention ko kanina, yung asserting yourself, the words I think that might sound submissive. And even I hope, the word I hope, it's like being submissive. But I'm not saying that you're not going to use it. You can still use this if you are asking for a request. I am hoping for your favorable response. Ayan, naturo na naman sa inyo, di ba? Ay, yung conversation natin yung sa communication in the workplace, may webinar kayo before, may email din na part doon. Using those words, no, you have to be submissive kasi you are asking for a request. Okay? Maybe, perhaps, ayan, if you are doing a report or kung may students tayo dito or magdi-defense ka, do not use maybe or perhaps. It means you're not certain about the results of your study. Na magigisa ka dyan ng panelist mo. Okay. So, yan. Magkakaroon na ng ano dyan. Magigisa ka na ng panelist mo, di ba? So, yun. Do not use the words maybe, probably, perhaps. Kasi it means that you're not certain bakit ganun yung results ng study mo, di ba? And even the word just, okay? It's just that. And sorry to bother you, but sorry to bother you, but kung you feel that you are asking for, it's a busy season. Oh, kung kunwari sa mga faculty grading coding na, 'di ba? And you're asking for a request dito sa faculty na ito, sa teacher na ito, nagre-request ka. Grading season yan. For example, may request ka na hindi naman siya, I mean, hindi siya seasonal. I mean, it's not the perfect time to do that, but you need to do that. You need to send a request. Pwede mong gamitin yung sorry to bother you, but. Kasi it's what? It's a sign of respect. Diba? And the word assertive, ayan, I believe, I would, I believe, ayan, pwede mong gamitin yan. Parang nasa Miss Q&A ka lang, no? I believe. Okay, so ayan, I believe, yes, that sound assertive, no? Kasi it means that you really believe, you are very certain that this is the results of your study. You believe. Yan. I would like. Ayan, pwede din yan. I want and I need. Okay, my opinion is, pag may meeting ka, ito po yung opinion ko. Yan. I look forward to. Yan. Minsan, I forgot kung saan ko nga ba nabasang article. Sayang, hindi ko na siya na-cite. Yung word daw na po, kapag ginagamit mo sa corporate setup, bawasan mo daw yung po and opo. Kung kayo naman ay nasa work setup, and you are, for example, the question is in English, tanggalin mo na yung po at opo. Kapag i-interviewin ka, remove the po and opo. Kunwari, applicant ka. The question is straightly phrased in English. You don't have to use po and opo. Yun. Tanggalin mo na yung po and opo para mag-sound assertive siya. Kasi pag may po and opo, minsan nagiging sound submissive. During job applicant interview, you are selling yourself. You should sound assertive. 'Di ba? So you remove the po and opo. Kaso minsan hindi siya natatanggal sa ating mga nasa ano na natin siya, 'di ba? Practice ng mga Pinoy. Okay. So yan, quick practice assertiveness using the chat box. Pwede rin, kung gusto mo mag-unmute, sige, raise hand button kayo, tapos unmute nyo yung sarili ninyo. Ay, hindi ko ata alam kung pwede pala. Sorry, kung hindi pala possible, Zoom chat box na lang. Quick practice tayo ng assertiveness. So, paano kayo magsa-sound assertive dito sa mga messages na ipapakita ko sa inyo sa screen or sa scenario na ipapakita ko? How will you rephrase it and how will you make it assertive? Okay? So try natin ha. Yan. It's in Filipino, pwede rin naman Taglish, bahala kayo kung saan kayo comfortable. Wag naman Korean ha. Okay. Bakit ganyan ang report mo? Sige, lagyan ko ng acting. Bakit ganyan ang report mo? Hindi ko maintindihan. Ayan. 'Di ba? Maldita. Okay. So yan. Masungit. So yan. For example, ni-review ng iyong supervisor ang report mo. Bakit ganyan ang report mo, ha? Hindi ko maintindihan. Ang tagal na. Bakit ngayon mo lang yan sinend tapos bakit ganyan yung bakit ganyan yung pagkakalagay mo ng data? 'Di ba? Graph lang, walang interpretation. Okay, sige. Paano nyo gagamiting assertive yan? Paano nyo i-rephrase nyo to ha? Hindi mo sasagutin yung tanong. I-rephrase mo siya. Kunwari ikaw yung supervisor. Nakita mo ang messy talaga ng report. Parang ano lang, graph, pie graph. Pie graph, hindi naman dapat pie graph. So, paano mo siya gagawing assertive manner without violating the rights or without offending the subordinate? Mind you ha, hindi submissive, hindi rin aggressive. Ay, grabe, nasiyakan ka ba sa report mo? Natatawa ako sa inyo. Parang ano ha, ano siya, ibabalik mo yung tanong, nasiyakan ka ba sa report mo? Okay, sige. Ewan ko sa inyo, nakakatawa kayo. Let's try to revise this report. That could be. These are the portion that you have to revise. Lahat na revise, walang natira. Okay. Sa thesis na walang natira. Iyak. Okay. Can you tell me why this shows in your report? Okay. Possible? What's the meaning of this? Diba? Parang ganun. Paki-revise naman ito. Okay. Yung paki-revise naman nito, although may word na paki, that's okay lang naman. Kasi it's please diba? Pero you have to be specific. Ano yung mga revision points? Nagmamadali sa deadline. Can you tell me more about your report? Possible? I would like to know more about this report. Sabi ni Senia, diba? Nasisiyahan ka ba sa report? Sabi ni Percy. Pa-review ng report mo, please. Parang may kulang. Okay. Sige. Sabi ni Mabel, but we could improve that through stating like what I mentioned. Ano yung mga revision points? Okay. Yung word na parang may kulang, magmumukha siyang uncertain. So, pwede nating gawin, alin dyan yung kulang, alin dyan yung kailangan niyang i-improve. Yes, we have a participant raising his hand. Si Lauro Atienza, sir. Makakapag-unmute ba si sir? I'm not sure. If possible, then go. Hindi ko sure eh. Sige, sige. Pag naman nagsalita si sir, sige. The floor is yours. Sa tingin ko ay may ikaayos ang report mo. Okay, ganito lang kasi yan, ganito ang gawin mo. Yung ganito lang kasi yan, ganito ang gawin mo. Medyo ano siya, aggressive ang tone. Kasi it's like you're stating, you must and you should do this. Okay? Pwede mo sabihin, these are my suggestions for you to improve your report. Ito yung mga pwede mong gawin. Okay? Mukhang nahihirapan ka sa report mo, gusto mo ng tulong? Ayan, pwede. Kung wala talagang matitira na dun sa report niya, baka hindi naman kasi rin siya sanay. 'Di ba? turuan mo muna ng data storytelling, ng data analytics. Baka wala talagang skill, di ba? Magba-backfire yan sa'yo kung ikaw ang supervisor niyan. Ay, maganda to. I like this by Vic Relison. Sabi niya is, can we sit down and discuss your report, 'di ba? Are you experiencing any challenges with the data and analysis? How can I help you make this better? Sabi ni Mamang. So, ang ganda nito. So, very accurate yung ano niya dito, pagkaka-state ng kanyang assertive tone or the manner to communicate it. Kapag ganito yung iyong supervisor, hindi ka kakabahan. 'Di ba? Ang ganda nung ano niya nung transition. Kasi baka mamaya may problem naman talaga. Kinulang siya ng oras or lacking skills, 'di ba? On doing the report. Okay? So, I won't be able to read all your answers. Permission to talk aloud. Ayan pala, pwede magsalita si Sir kanina. I forgot the name, but you could unmute yourself. Sige, sige. So, while waiting for him, sige, ito yung second scenario. Napindot lang. Okay, no worries on that. So, ito yung second scenario natin. Coworker mo na laging late. Ayan, may coworker ka na laging late. Magpasa ng output. Kaya late ka rin sa paggawa o pag-finalize ng report. Kasi bago mo magawa yung report mo, kailangan manggaling muna yung data dun sa coworker mo. Laging late. Malilate ka din. So, magre-reflect yun sa'yo. So, ito yung sinabi mo. Baka pwede mo naman please isend ngayon sa email ko yung report mo. That sounds submissive, di ba? Kasi may word na baka, pwede mo naman please, di ba, isend ngayon sa email ko yung report mo. It might sound submissive. Bakit? Kasi it's expected from that coworker of yours that he or she will submit the data. Kasi it's part of your work. It's part of your job description. Pero late niyang ginagawa. Okay? So the way you say it, it might sound too submissive kasi parang ikaw ang dating nakikiusap ka. 'Di ba? So how will you make it or how will you make it let's say how will you revise it as an assertive person? Sige nga, let's try it sa chat box. Sige, nag-iisip pa sila. Yeah, maganda yung sunod na situation. Magagamit nyo siya sa everyday, sa personal life. Eto, maganda din tong sagot ni kindly forward your report ASAP. Ito, ang yung dating nito, yung kay Miss Senia. Kindly forward your report ASAP. It's a combination of what? Submissive and aggressive. Kasi may kindly, nilagyan mo ng kindly. Tapos ASAP. O, di ba? Lagot ka kasi ASAP na. Okay. So, ano siya? Parang a gentle reminder. Gentle. Yun, hinawakan ng mukha mo. Gentle. Okay. So, yun, a gentle reminder. 'Di ba? Nilagyan mo lang nun para mag-sound submissive eh. Your report is needed on date and time so we could submit on time. O, 'di ba? Yes, it could be assertive kasi straight to the point na eh. Pwede mo sabihin, I believe your report or I believe the data that ganyan-ganyan. I would like to request. Yan. I would like to request your data because it is essential for me to finish my report. Ayan. Kung email, 'di ba? Kung Filipino naman, pwede mo sabihin na yung report mo, kailangan yan para pwede mo naman sabihin na monthly natin ginagawa ito. Usually, dapat sa second week, nabigay mo na yung data, ganyan-ganyan. Ayan, follow up ko po yung report. Okay, let's sit down and start working on this report. Okay, let's sit down na, no? Samahan mo na siya, tabihan mo na okay, sa working area niya. Kindly submit your report today. Okay. Okay. Sir, ma'am, deadline report ko po ay please send data po on or before. Kamusta report natin? Okay. Pasimple yun eh, di ba? May attacking aggressive yun eh. Kamusta report natin, ha? Eto, nagbabakasyon. Okay. So yan, I was expecting your submission. Sabi ni Miss Rosel Collado, I was expecting your submission last ganyan. 'Di ba kunwari may deadline naman kayo lagi na every second week of the month, dapat yung data na send na. Para sa third week of the month, ikaw naman yung gagawa, 'di ba? You may have missed the deadline. Maganda yon, bibigyan mo muna siya ng parang benefit of the doubt. I need it as soon as possible to avoid further delay. Yan, that's good. Next time, submit your report on due date. Oh, medyo aggressive yan ha. Pero, yung straightforward, sige. Pero, of course, medyo i-tone down natin siya. Okay. Naghahalo kayo eh. Naghahalong aggressive and submissive eh. Sige. Ayan. Kaya today. Okay, sige. Next. This one. Nakita mo ang coworker mo, take note, na may utang pa sa'yo sa Starbucks. At itong coworker mo na ito, nag-order ng venti size na coffee. Venti, yun yung pinakamalaking size. Sa ibang bansa, 30. Sa atin, venti lang. Kanina lang din, nakita mo sa FB ang mga recently posted photos niya sa Siargao. Nag-Siargao ang ate girl. Okay. Dahil kailangan mo ng pera pambayad sa mga bills mo or sa mga chinek out mo sa naka-add to cart mo sa Lazada or Shopee. Paano mo sisingilin sa pagkakautang ang coworker mo na nakita mo may venti size na coffee at ikaw ay walang pambili ng Starbucks? Paano mo sisingilin sa utang ang coworker mo in an assertive manner? Assertive ha? Maghanap ng away. Okay, assertive ba? Yun ang hinahanap ko, hindi aggressive. Okay. Sige, pag-isipan. Okay, sige. Basahin ko yung chat box. Parang mauwiwindang ako sa mga sagot ninyo, ha? Okay. Okay, yung isa, sabi ni Marlo, comment ng sana all sa post. Or kaya magsisend ka ng meme, no, na may patama. Sana all naka-vacation. Oy, seryosohin nyo naman yung sagot. Assertive ha. Girl, baka naman. Hi, I need your payment today. Gusto ko din magkape. Okay, sabi ni Sir Bernard. Premusta, balita na. Grabe kayo dito sa ano ha, may utang ha. Wala nang assertiveness, no? Diretso na. Hindi kasi ako naniningil, hindi na lang siya makakahiram ulit. Oh, yun nga ang mahirap, no? Kung yung nature mo, hindi ka naniningil, 'di ba? Parang ikaw na lang mag-a-adjust for that person. Okay. Sabi ni Sir Joel, sarap ng kape mo ah. By the way, open-minded ka. Oh my God. Dahil na sa Starbucks? Okay, sige. I urgently need the payment. Please pay now. Although it might sound aggressive in nature, no? Okay. Pero kasi kung kailangan eh. We don't know kung nandun na tayo sa sitwasyon na yun, kung ano yung mararamdaman mo, di ba? Hindi maiiwasan. I will validate, guys, your negative feelings if you will use an aggressive tone manner in this kind of situation, especially during desperate times. You might sound aggressive. I will validate your negative feelings. So, yun. Okay. Okay, I look forward to having your utang paid as of San. Okay. So, yan. May utang ka pa sa akin. Sana magbayad ka muna bago mag-social. Oy, grabe. Oy, conflict resolution tayo ha. Kaya talaga. Okay, natutuwa ako sa inyo. Pero syempre, we are maintaining a conflict resolution here. It could be, let's say, for example, um, state the facts that you needed the money. We've already talked about it. You say na, sabi mo magbabayad ka sa kinsenas. Lagi niyo sa katapusan eh, ano, end of the world. So, ayun, sabi mo ngayong buwan na to makakabayad ka. Or pwede ba natin pag-usapan kung kailan ka makakabayad ng iyong utang? Or let's say for example, you have to clarify kung mag-set kayo ng date, 'di ba? Kapag yung date na yun lumipas na naman, edi follow up ulit. And then kapag hindi na, ayun, pwedeng, I don't know ha, depende yun sa inyo kung paano nyo siya i-escalate. But the problem with that is, of course, baka kasi mamaya, hindi lang ikaw yung inuutangan niya. May mga ganyang instances baka naging nature niya na ng mga utang sa iba't ibang coworkers. Ikaw, as much as possible, it's your right, no? Na kunin sa kanya yung pera. Okay? Huwag nating hayaan na tayo ay aapak-apakan lang for that. Of course, you also need to voice out because you have the right to do that. Okay? So yeah, meron din mga ko-comment dito sa Facebook, no? So yung name. So baka pwede ko na po makuha yung hiniram mo kasi need ko din ngayon ng pambayad sa bill. Salamat sa pangunawa. Yun. However, it might sound submissive in nature kasi pwede ko na po ba makuha? It's like you're asking 'di ba? Yun nga ang pangit sa ganitong setup. Tayo yung nagpapaka-submissive pero dapat hindi, 'di ba? Kasi yun nga sila yung may utang. Pero well, may mga ganyan situation. We all know that frustrations are normal, 'di ba? So yan. Ito yung framework na pwede nating gamitin, no? So yung assertive giving feedback na tinatawag, yung DESCRIP. Yung iba, yung desk siya, letter C, DESC. Consequence yung ginagamit dito sa last one. So I use this framework. This is commonly used in assertiveness, no? Well, wherein it shows alignment of the conversation that you're going to use, no, when it comes to resolving conflict, okay, especially in a professional setup. So for example, you have to you have to describe the behavior that needs to be improved or corrected. Okay? Describe the behavior that needs to be improved or corrected. For example, napag-alaman mo yung katrabaho mo, sinisiraan ka behind your back. Mga backstabber, 'di ba? Conflict 'yan, 'di ba? So ngayon, paano mo ide-describe? Okay, nag one-on-one na kayo. Okay, one-on-one ha, wag showdown na maraming nakakakita. One-on-one, okay. So pwede mo sabihin sa kanya, napag-alaman ko sa mga katrabaho natin na meron kang sinasabi na hindi maganda patungkol sa akin. Tapos, lalagyan mo, make it specify kung ano yung mga sinabi niya based sa sources mo. Huwag mo nang idama yung mga sources mo kung kanino galing, ha? Okay, so you have to identify, make it specific. Ano yung mga narinig mo, nabasa mo, or nakuha mong information na nagsasabi na hindi maganda tungkol sa'yo. Para ma-realize na, okay, nakarating sa kanya, ganyan, ganyan. Make it specific when it comes to describing the negative behavior that you want to correct to that person. Okay? So, express, letter E na tayo, express how you feel about the behavior. You know, it's important that you express how you feel about it para magkaroon siya ng realization. Matamaan yung kausap mo. Yung merong hindi magandang ginawa sa'yo. You express how you feel about it. O balikan natin yung scenario ng may backstabber. So, na-offend ako or nasaktan ako dun sa mga narinig ko. Ganyan, ganyan. Kasi nga, isa ka sa mga coworker na pinagkakatiwalaan ko, na itinuturing ko na rin kaibigan. So, talaga na-hurt ako doon or na-offend ako nung malaman ko yon. Okay. Next, you specify the behavioral changes that you want to happen. Okay? Dun sa describe, balik ko lang. Sa describe, pwede mo rin namang i-verify sa kanya. Bigyan mo rin siya ng opportunity to talk. Okay? And then, sa letter S, you have to specify the behavioral changes. Kasi ayaw mo na ulit mangyari ito eh. Ikaw ba gusto mo ba laging everyday yung coworker mo may awkwardness kayo? Gusto mo iiwasan mo na lang siya lagi. Gusto mo rin na matigil na yung conflict na yun, di ba? You don't want everyday ang gagamitin mo o avoiding. Maraming gumagamit ng avoiding conflict resolution eh. Pero if this is already tainting your reputation, you need to talk to that person already. 'Di ba? You specify the behavioral changes that you want to happen. Kung may gusto kang sabihin patungkol sa akin or kung may problema ka ba sa attitude ko, pwede mo naman ako kausapin. Kasi you're not perfect. Baka may napapansin din itong coworker mo na ito na hindi maganda sa ugali mo. Ngayon, kesa naman sabihin niya at ikalat pa sa iba, ang dating kasi nun is naninirang puri na. So ngayon, pwede na siyang dumiretso sa'yo. If you notice, for example, na ikaw ay may problema sa akin, sa attitude ko, sa pagsasalta ko during our meeting, na baka na-offend pala kita, pwede mo naman akong directly kausapin. Eto na, nag-expect ka na sa specify ng behavioral changes. Para in that way, kung ikaw yung may problema, you make adjustments to it para ma-realize mo rin, ano ba nangyari? Bakit nagkaroon ng ganitong conversation around, negative conversation around you? And the last one, these are the sell or the consequences, no? You sell the benefits that you want to highlight. Let's say, for example, kung may gusto kang sabihin sa akin na pwede naman natin itong pag-usapan, kung may problema ka sa akin, nang sa gayon, mabigyan natin ng solusyon, no? Yung hindi tayo magkakaroon ng ilangan kapag tayo magtatrabaho or walang awkwardness or barrier sa atin. Kasi you want a harmonious workplace, 'di ba? Yun yung aim natin sa conflict resolution, to bridge the gap, no? And to have a harmonious workplace. Kasi everyday kayo nagtatrabaho, everyday kayo nagkikita, 'di ba? Ang hirap ng may alitan or conflict, 'di ba? So coming from that small conversation of yours, you can able to resolve the conflict. Ngayon, kung nasabi mo na sa kanya na voice out mo na, and then ganun pa rin, no? If you believe that it is already tainting your reputation, you've done your part already, you could file a report already. 'Di ba? Pwede mo na siyang daanan sa legal na action, no? Sabihin mo sa team leader nyo muna, sa chair ninyo, kung sino yung team leader ninyo, kung pwede na siyang i-escalate kasi it's already tainting your reputation already. So you could file necessary actions for that. And it should be documented, of course. Okay? So yan. So that's about when it comes to addressing mga grievances and dispute, 'di ba? Of course, we are in a working setup. Hindi naman tayo basta-basta na lang na nasa face-to-face, 'di ba? Or nakaitulfo. Mga professional lahat tayo dito. So, it should be conversely in professional manner. Okay? Okay, so yan. I have here a sample scenario wherein it uses a desk script, pero in an aggressive manner, ha? For example, you are in a meeting, okay? Team leader ka. Ikaw yung leader ng team ninyo and then you are in a meeting. Nag-a-ask ka ng suggestion sa mga ka-team mo kasi may gaganapin kayong, for example, well-being program para sa inyong mga members, okay, sa department ninyo. Eh, ikaw yung naatasan doon. Ikaw yung leader. Ngayon, walang sumasagot, walang nagpa-participate, walang nagsasuggest. Tamang attend lang ng meeting. So how will you request for participation in an assertive manner? Etong first example ko dito, this is an aggressive manner, okay? So kitang-kita naman dito. Letter D, yung D natin is describe and explain the situation, 'di ba? So, let's say for example, in an aggressive manner, you can state, wait lang ha, hold on. Kasi baka mag-lowbat akong bigla. I'll just plug my laptop. Wait lang. Ayan. Okay. So, sige. Habang, ayan. Okay. Yeah. Okay na. So, ayan. For example, this one. You are doing all the listening and I am doing all the talking. So, ako na lang lagi ang nagsasalita at kayo ay nakaupo lang dyan. You describe the situation. Ganun naman talaga yung nangyayari, di ba? That's letter D. You describe the behavior that needs to change. However, your tone is aggressive. Okay? So, expressing. Okay. Sige, mamaya sasagutin ko yung question. Expressing how you feel about the behavior. Should I do all the talking all the time? Kitang-kita na dito. Anong expression dito? Frustration, 'di ba? Kitang-kita na yung frustration niya dito. Tapos ito na yung ito aggressive na talaga, 'di ba? Specify the behavioral changes that you want to happen. Ang gusto mo is mag-suggest sila, pero ang pagkakasabi mo, hey, say something. Salita naman kayo, mag-suggest naman kayo. So, yun yung gusto mo na mangyari, mag-suggest sila. And then, you sell the benefits that you want to highlight. So, if you will not come up with the brilliant ideas, then we better call this meeting off. The benefits of this, actually, walang benefits kasi maka mag-away-away lang, di ba? Kung ganito yung way mo ng um, pag-deal sa participation. Now, if we're going to make it an assertive manner is, sige nga, dito muna tayo sa letter D. Describing the behavior that you want to change or you want to improve or corrected. Paano mo i-correct ito? You are asking for participation. Sige nga, let's try sa chat box. Habang nag-iisip kayo, may question dito. Sige, sagutin ko muna. Sabi ni Marlo, paano po ang approach if ever one of our coworker ay nagiging source na ng conflicts on multiple units and multiple people as his her way to pull favors to a specific higher up? Thank you po. One of our coworker ay nagiging source na ng conflict. To pull favors? Paano pull favors to specific higher up? Medyo naguluhan lang ako dun. Pero kung ang mangyayari dito sa coworker mo na ito is paulit-ulit na and nagkakaroon na ng malaking problem sa inyo, nagkakaroon na ng disruption sa work ninyo at marami na nakakapansin, it's the responsibility of the team leader or maybe, I don't know, the supervisor kung saang mang department kayo to mediate or pumagitna na dun sa situation, to talk to that person, magkakaroon ng one-on-one conversation, crucial conversation kung tawagin sa ibang work setup, para ma-address yung issue na to and ano yung behavioral changes na pwedeng gawin. Pwedeng ganito yung maging flow ng script nung kakausap sa kanya, yung kung supervisor man yan. Ang malala kung supervisor or higher up yung ganun, no? So, ang pwedeng mangyari is pwedeng i-report dun sa mas mataas pa. No, may hierarchy kasi tayong sinusunod, 'di ba? Para walang ma-bypass. Sila ang mag-uusap, yung mas mataas na posisyon at saka yung people leader mo. Kung yung people leader mo ang may problema. 'Yun. Ayan. So, dito na tayo sa meeting. So, any thoughts, comments, and suggestions po? Ayan. Wala na ata kayong energy, isa na lang sumagot, no? So, yun. So, pwede mong sabihin dito, di ba, yes, that you could do that. So, let's say, for example, in order for us to successfully implement our well-being program, so it is highly appreciated na magkaroon kayo ng suggestions. Yan. Okay, ayan, pwede din yan. I've already shared my part. It's now time to share yours. Okay? Or pwedeng bago kayo mag-meeting, bigyan mo na sila ng assignment na tigda dalawang suggestion para pagdating na meeting, hindi sila ngarag kung anong pag-uusapan. The meeting agenda is already in place, di ba? Next, should I do all the talking all the time? So, frustration kasi to di ba? So, sige, i-reveal ko na yung sample script na pwede na example ng pagiging assertive dito. So, I have come up with 2 suggestions already. Totoo naman, nakapag-suggest ka na ng 2 suggestions. So, all ready to start this project. So, parang ano yan parang sinasabi mo na yung scenario. It's time for you to share yours, di ba? So I also know, or I know you also have some great ideas to contribute, di ba? Express how you feel. It's like you are encouraging that person. O kayo naman, alam ko marami kayong suggestion. Okay. And then letter S. Okay. So, let me hear it from you or anyone in the group. And then another one, you specify and sell the benefits, di ba? So we will work on this more efficiently and effectively if everyone will start contributing ideas. Totoo naman, kaya nga tayo bumuo ng isang team para sa isang project. Kasi maging efficient yan kung lahat kayo magsasuggest, di ba? If everyone will start contributing ideas. Okay? So yan. So this is the framework when it comes to assertiveness that we could use. Ayan. So describe the behavior that needs to be changed or improved or corrected. Express kung ano ba yung nafe-feel mo, lalo na kung ito yung na-violate yung rights mo, yung example ko kanina. Tapos you specify ano ba yung gusto mong mabago or ma-improve para hindi na maulit yung ganyang conflict. And you sell the benefits. Okay? So yan. Someone in the office comes to you and wants to gossip about a friend of yours. Sige nga, gamitan natin ng describe, explain, specify, and sell. Sige, bigyan ko muna kayo ng few minutes to think about it. Okay? Meron kang coworker, no, lumapit sa'yo. Alam mo na, nag-share ng mga gossip or rumors na, alam mo namang sa tingin mo, hindi naman totoo. Kaibigan mo yon yung sinisiraan niya. So, kunwari, hindi niya alam na magkaibigan kayo. So, how will you use the desk script? Sige. Loading. Okay. Sige. Sige, pag-isipan muna ha. Ayan. Common yan. Nangyayari po yan. Actually, yung mga example ko dito, it's true to life scenario. No, nakikita yan sa mga workplace, no, sa mga iba't ibang workplace setup. So just to give you an overview, no, chika lang muna. So I've worked with several companies before, different working setup. First job ko, nasa malaking company, manufacturing. So, as in, nasa 5,000, 6,000 na ata sila ngayon. It's a manufacturing company. At talagang yung mga ganyan conflict, even small ones, kasi nasa HR ako, maraming ganyan. Even sa amin sa HR na lang. Hindi kami perfecto, of course. May conflict din sa amin, no? Nangyayari yan. And then, yun, hanggang mag-transition ako. It's my first time here in an academic field. Ibang-iba, okay? Kasi sa ano na ako sa teaching na ako, sa faculty na ako. So, mostly, ang encounter ko, mga students, syempre, mga co-teachers ko din. Pero yung kung i-compare ko dun sa previous, yun, mas, na-accommodate ko yung mga employees concern. Yan. Even nga concern lang sa rice allowance, na-discuss din doon sa mga employee grievances sa employee index survey namin, nakikita. Bakit po yung rice allowance ng mga supervisor manager is mas malaki kaysa sa aming mga operator? Mas malakas po ba silang kumain ng bigas? Yun talaga yung nakalagay sa survey. So yun, may mga ganun. Hindi siya simple. I mean, makikita mo na may point, 'di ba? May point siya. Yun. Minsan yung ganoong simpleng bagay, simple conflict that um, might arise a bigger problem. Mhm. Okay. So, I think, sige, sabi ni Marlo sa letter D, I think this is not applicable in workplace settings. It's like you're saying na, hindi applicable yung gossiping sa workplace setting. So, yun. Yung think, di ba, medyo submissive siya in nature. So, pwede mong sabihin, I believe this is not applicable in workplace setting. Itong topic na to, nako, wag natin pag-usapan. Masyadong personal yan. Hindi yan pwedeng pag-usapan dito sa workplace. Reliable ba yung source mo? Makinig lang din, sagutin mo na hindi naman siguro. Parang medyo avoiding type because you wanted to, don't want to entertain that conversation. Para medyo paaway yung medyo bawasan natin yun. Ayun, yung sa answer ni Janina. Kaya mo ba sabihin sa kanya? Gusto mo samahan kita, sabihin natin yun sa kanya. Tara, no na. Baka mag-away-away kayo, of course. So, yan. Napapansin ko, madami kang time para pag-usapan si friend. Kayo talaga? Okay, sige. Pwede naman natin siyang i-tone down in a sense na, kaibigan mo 'to, eh. Puwede mong sabihin na, alam mo magandang atake din diyan sa ganyang sitwasyon. Puwede mo siyang ano, pakinggan muna and then para matuto din siya, itong taong ito, you could state that, describe the situation, 'di ba? Um Puwede mong sabihin na wala tayong pruweba or wala kang pruweba para masabi na totoo yung source mo or yung sinasabi mo. At sa tingin ko, hindi nga applicable na pag-usapan itong ganitong topic lalo't nasa work tayo. So, yun. Puwede mo nga sabihin at the end of the day, "Uy, na friend mo nga yan eh." Puwede kong i-confirm sa kanya kung totoo nga since magkaibigan kami, o 'di ba? Parang ano din, matauhan din yung kausap mo, ay kaibigan pala niya yun. So yun, na mali yung ginagawa niya. Or puwede mong sabihin yung conversation natin kanina, although sa'yo yun eh, personal, puwede mong sabihin na next time kung may problema ka sa taong ito, puwede mong kausapin siya kaysa sinasabi mo sa ibang tao. Yun. Bigyan mo din siya ng lesson. Parang drinking his own medicine, 'di ba? Okay. And, ayan. So, sige, last to. I have many tasks to attend. I don't have time for this. I'm not comfortable discussing anything about that person considering it's my friend. That could be, it's possible. No? So, you don't want to entertain that. And, expect that person, ha? Hindi na yan lalapit sa'yo. May ganyan yan. Ganyan ang possible mangyari dyan. Kasi, sabi niya, uy, ano, may boundary. There's a wall. Okay. Sige, okay. Marami pa tayong pwede pang i-improve, no, sa pagiging assertive, no? And it's a skill. You have to practice that. Assertiveness training. Actually, hindi ang assertiveness, hindi lang to sa organizational or industrial setting, ha? Hindi lang siya sa ganito sa workplace. Ginagamit din siya sa therapy, sa cognitive behavioral therapy session. Lalo na yung may mga problems in terms of may anxiety in terms of speaking in front of many people, may assertiveness training na binibigay sa kanya para ma-practice niya to speak up for his or her rights, to speak up his ideas. Paano kung marami naman siyang ideas pero hindi niya sinasabi kasi nahihiya siya? Kailangan niya ng assertiveness. May na-attendan ako seminar before, ang sabi niya nung speaker, actually some ideas coming from the 3-day workshop that I attended before, assertiveness communication, yung from Guthrie Jensen, no. It really helps me a lot kasi sabi niya, if that employee is not assertive at all, alam mo at the end sa pagkakasabi niya, no, quote and quote, no, alam mo at the end of the day, kakainin ka lang din ng buo ng mga coworkers mo kung hindi ka assertive. You won't have opportunity for you to promote yourself. Hindi ka mapopromote, 'di ba? You won't be able to voice out your opinions, your ideas. Lagi mo na lang isinasantabi, 'di ba? Sayang yung opportunities na dapat meron ka. You are not using your fullest potentials, 'di ba? 'Yun, okay? And I believe this is the last part. Okay, sige, nakakatuwa yung mga sagot ninyo. Pero practice assertiveness ha. Yung iba kasi yung aggressive eh. Okay. Sige. Although assertiveness kasi it's a skill na kailangan i-practice. Hindi agad-agad maging assertive ka. No. Kailangan mo siyang i-practice. Okay? So ngayon, let's have the last topic. It's about building a workplace culture. Ayan. Although the topics that I'm going to cover here, no, it's actually na-discuss or na-cover up na sa mental health natin yung na-discuss na I believe sa previous topics or webinars ninyo. Okay? So, related po yan. Na-discuss din yan a while ago or nabanggit ng ating mga host, 'di ba? Now, when it comes to building or when it comes to conflict resolution, at the end of the day, ang equation nan is mental health, no? Yung well-being natin, mapapangalagaan natin kung wala tayong kaalitan. Ang sarap kaya matulog na wala kang kaalitan sa trabaho. 'Di ba? Peace of mind, okay? So, building a positive workplace culture, number one, stay calm, 'di ba? Kalma daw. Sabi kanina yan, 'di ba? Stay calm. Kasi when dealing with different kinds of conflict in the workplace, no, whether it is with your customers, ang customers ninyo, 'di ba, kung nasa admin kayo, yung mga coworkers nyo din, mga employees from different department, the faculty. Kami customers namin, the students, kung kayo ay nasa faculty. So, customer mo din yung mga coworkers mo, co-faculty mo. So, whether it's from your customers, your coworkers, or supervisors, it is important to remain calm, 'di ba? Kalma, okay? So losing your patience or temper, it will definitely if it will definitely lead you to what? To tension, okay? To extreme, or let's say not so good situation kapag of course pinangungunahan ka ng emosyon. Kaya as much as possible, kung pwede nating ituro not just to your students, not just to your coworkers, kahit ikaw i-practice mo yung meditation, no? Doing the breathing exercise, no? The grounding technique, mindfulness, 'di ba? Therapy. Yan. Brown bag session, ayan. Literal brown bag. Hindi yung brown bag na mag-uuwi ka ha ng magsasharon ng pagkain sa gathering sa trabaho. No. The brown bag session, the concept of that is, for example, di ba may mga asthma attack? They are what? Doing brown bag session. Humihinga sila doon sa loob ng brown bag para yung mga nag-hyperventilate or with panic attack, they are breathing in and out sa brown bag. So, ganyan din yun. Hindi po kayo literal na magdadala ng brown bag. It's like you're going to do a brown bag session with your team. Kunwari, small team lang naman kayo or sa department ninyo para magkakaroon kayo ng hingahan session. Hindi, ang gagawin mo sa brown bag session, not a meeting agenda ha. Hindi kayo magdi-discuss dyan ng strategy. Hindi yan strategic planning or magdi-discuss kayo ng KPI ninyo. No, it's not. The brown bag session is you're going to talk about, it could be anything under the sun. Pwede naman magbigay ng topic, pero it should be light and easy. It should be a touch, more on personal touch siya dapat. Pwede ding ma-discuss dyan yung kunwari may conflict ka kay ganito. Or let's say for example during meeting, na-offend ako sa'yo kasi madalas pag nagmi-meeting tayo, lagi kang sumasabat. Or minsan kapag nagmi-meeting tayo, may pagkakataon na nagsasalta pa lang ako, kino-contradict mo na. You could do a brown bag session. Pero wag po magba-brown bag session kung walang internal peer mediation. Walang pumapagitna. Magka-clash yan. Dapat may facilitator. Actually, it's a skill. Sa coaching and feedback, it's a skill. Coaching skills. Dapat meron kang skill on how to mediate sa conflicting parties. Okay? Knowledgeable dapat yung magiging mediator. Okay? Kasi dapat ito ay good listener. Ito muna, turn muna niya sa pagsasalita. And then, so on so forth. Para kayo magkakaroon dito ng group session. Okay? Focus group discussion kung tawagin sa brown bag session. And this is very important, no? The respect, no? Respect one another. Okay? It's an attitude, no? Wherein you're respecting the rights of other people. Sa assertiveness kasi hindi mawawala ang respect. Lagi kong sinasabi, di ba? You are respecting the rights of other people, not just yourself. Okay? So, how you listen, the tone of your voice, word choices, yan. Tone of voice, very important po yan sa respect. Minsan nga lang na may misinterpret ang tone of voice. Kasi nanggaling ako before sa yung first work experience ko, it's located in Batangas. Expect mo, the Batangueños there are speaking sometimes loud. Na-adapt ko na nga kasi nakatira na ako sa Batangas. So ngayon, minsan nami-misinterpret daw siya ng iba. Kinuwento niya sa akin kasi may ano ako doon, coaching, one-on-one, parang ganun. One-on-one session sa kanya about assertiveness. Shinare niya, ma'am, bakit kaya ganun? Minsan lagi na lang daw siya na pagsasabihan na laging galit. Eh, hindi naman daw siya galit. Ganun lang daw talaga siya magsalita. Eh, doon siya banda talaga sa may Batangas City. So talagang ano talaga yung salita nila doon. Sabi ko, iayon na lang din natin sa senaryo. So, may pagkakataon kasi talaga na kailangan mo i-tone down yung boses mo. At ang bilis niya magsalita. May tendency kasi pag mabilis ka magsalita, hindi nabibigyan ng opportunity yung kausap mo na i-absorb yung sinasabi mo. Yun. Kaya nagkaroon kami ng session ng presentation skills, effective presentation skills in terms of communication. Yun, lagi kaming magkakaroon kayo ng talaga ng weekly session pagka ganun. Yun, tututukan mo. Hindi yun agad may improve, pero napapractice. And listen. Yan, very important. Listen not to reply, but to understand. Okay? Minsan kasi nakikinig tayo, aantayin mo, ito sasabihin ko. No, you should listen to understand, not just to reply. Okay? So, I believe these are the last part. Okay? So yeah, let's hear it from you. Q&A na tayo. And these are my references. Some parts of it coming from, I adopted from the training sessions that I attended way back 2018. It's assertiveness communication from Gratry Jensen. And the Killman model. Si Thomas Killman, madami itong research studies na published na ginamit yung kanyang model. So, yan. Hindi ko pa na-check kung merong conflict resolution inventory na Filipino version. So, yan. So, yan. Yan yung ito yung isa sa mga, merong nagte-training na din kasi ako nito before when I was still in a HR pa. So, yun. Kinuha ko yung ibang slides ko about communication skill, horizontal communication. At yan, marami pang ibang references. Yes, pwede ko naman siyang i-share, no? Yan, may nagtanong kasi kanina. So yan, there you go. Hope you learned something. Yan. Assertiveness ang gamitin, wag aggressiveness. Yung paniningil sa utang, kayo talaga. Okay? Thank you.
Ayan. Thank you so much, Ma'am Glad. Ang dami nating natutunan. Ano po.